man right there is Peter Schweizer. He's the author of the book Red-Handed: How American Elites Get Rich Helping China. What do you make of this new report on Hunter Biden? Well, you probably know about it already. Hunter Biden and cobalt and energy independence and collusion with the Chinese. What do you know about this?
Yeah, Stuart, it fits the pattern, unfortunately. I mean, Hunter Biden's involvement with these Chinese firms did not just put money into the pocket of the Biden family. He actually helped serve the role of advancing Chinese interests around the globe. They bought a precision tool company in Michigan that has so-called civilian and military uses. They were also invested in something called CGN, which is a Chinese nuclear atomic power company that was later charged by the FBI for stealing nuclear secrets in the United States. So the cobalt deal fits that pattern. This is an example of Hunter Biden serving the interests of the Chinese state at the expense of his own country.
Do you think we should go back and check it out? Should we look backwards? Is that the right thing to do at this point?
I think we have to, Stuart. We don't really have another option. I mean, the problem is, if this is allowed to go on, what Hunter Biden did without any accountability, without any investigation, it's going to become the pattern of behavior. You're going to have politicians, family members doing deals with China even more than they are currently. So I think you have to deal with this. I think when Congress comes in November, if the Republicans retake the House, you are probably going to see some investigations with subpoena power in the House of Representatives. And that, I think, will probably shed more light on exactly what went on.
How about the Durham probe, which we are told is accelerating and more people are cooperating with the investigation? This is all about the spying on Trump as a candidate and Trump in the White House. How do you think this plays out?
Well, I think Durham deserves a lot of credit. He's being very persistent and very direct. Stuart, if you go back to what was Watergate, Watergate was basically a break-in designed to get campaign information or private dirt on from the Democratic National Committee. That's what led to Watergate. This, as far as what's been reported by Durham, I think is 10 times worse, because this spilled over into when Donald Trump was not just a candidate, which you can say, okay, that's dirty tricks. It may be illegal, but that's dirty tricks campaigning. They were still monitoring him illegally while he was president of the United States. And that, to me, takes it to a whole nother level. I think clearly laws have been broken here, and somebody needs to go to jail that broke the law. If that does not happen, Stuart, it makes a mockery of any kind of restrictions on these kinds of political shenanigans by political candidates or contractors to the government that were clearly involved here as well.
Are you surprised that the media's walked away from this? I mean, the Washington Post and the New York Times have tackled it today, but they're dismissing the story, and the rest of the media simply isn't covering it.
Yeah, I think they've stepped back, Stuart, because they took the initial narrative hook, line, and sinker. They bought into the rumors, the speculation, the claims that were never supported by evidence. And of course, Robert Mueller, demonstrated that they weren't supported. I think they're all embarrassed. They don't want to cover this because then it requires them to go back and say all this reporting that we did previously on this was wrong. It's time for media to swallow their pride, be honest with their audiences. I think there should be scrutiny of President Trump, but there also needs to be equal scrutiny of President Biden and his family, and that has clearly not happened.
A lot of talk about Hillary Clinton making a comeback. You think this puts paid to that whole idea? She can't run in 2024?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge for her. Look, she still has a strong following in the Democratic Party, but let's just say she brings a lot of baggage with her, and this is only going to be further baggage. I mean, this is an investigation based on what Durham's found that continues to slowly creep its way to the top of the ladder, and I think it's going to eventually land at the footstep of Hillary Clinton herself. So certainly she could be an attractive candidate for the Democrats in some respect, but I don't think she's a viable candidate in 2024.
Okay, we hear you. Peter Schweizer, thanks for being with us. Come back soon, okay? You got a lot more.